All right, state lawmakers make about $24,000 a year. Of course, not a lot, but that is just the base salary. You and I end up paying for a lot of extras.
But we found a few red flags when we started digging into the salary of one of the guys who helps decide how the state spends your money.
Political editor Dennis Welch has this 3TV exclusive.
Birds chirping outside the state capitol.
How do you vote?
But inside, a very different kind of bird is spotted. Don Shooter, the glad-handing, back-slapping, grinning state lawmaker who stopped laughing shortly after we caught up with him.
It's Dennis Fake News Welch.
So what set him off? A simple question.
Where's your primary residence?
A question he didn't want to answer.
Where's your primary residence? Give me your address. Give me your address and I'll go visit
Could
you.
you get your hands off me, please?
No.
A heated exchange.
You don't need to be touching me.
Okay, all right.
That did little to clarify if the Yuma lawmaker actually lives in Yuma.
I'd like you to tell the truth occasionally, just occasionally.
And we were interested in getting to the truth, and here's what we found out. Shooter's wife owns this $500,000 home in Phoenix, which is listed on his financial disclosure forms. But he claims this rental in Yuma is where he actually lives.
No, he does not live in his district.
Attorney Tom Ryan,
You get robbed blind by these folks down there.
who's busted other lawmakers in the past for falsely claiming to live in a district they represent.
The problem is residency for the state legislature is very loosely defined. And unfortunately, there are unscrupulous legislators who are taking advantage of this loose definition.
According to the Maricopa County tax records, Shooter's wife bought this house in June of 2015. She also lists it as her primary residence. As for the apartment, we drove down to Yuma to get a closer look.
He's up in Phoenix, so you can get him there.
A woman claiming to be the landlord said Shooter does rent from her, that these apartments go for as much as $745 a month. But how much time does he actually spend there?
Your neighbor, Don Shooter, do you know him very well?
Not at all.
The residents weren't too chatty, but they didn't seem to know much about the state lawmaker living next door.
I don't think he's a full-time person here.
And according to APS, Shooter's average monthly utility bill in Yuma, $56 a month.
It's problematic for the voters in Yuma County and in his district, and it's problematic for us as taxpayers because we're basically subsidizing a $500,000 home.
Lawmakers living outside of Maricopa County receive a higher per diem to help offset housing, travel, and other out-of-town expenses. And since Shooter's wife bought that home in 2015, he's banked about $17,000 in per diem. Add in the mileage reimbursement, it's nearly $24,000, the equivalent of a lawmaker's entire year's salary.
He's effectively been able to double his legislative salary at a time Arizona families are struggling to make end meets. That's nothing more than just being shameful and greedy.
There were a lot of questions we had for Mr. Shooter when we went to the Capitol. As for that finger gesture, Shooter claimed he was just scratching his eye.
Where's your primary residence?
As for the central question to this story, he repeatedly refused to answer.
Your primary residence if you're
Dennis,
accepting
we're,
outbound
okay.
per diems.
We've played this game before. It doesn't work. Tell the truth sometime. Just try to tell the truth. It won't hurt you.
Well, with
It
the
won't
per
hurt
diems
you.
and the mileage, I mean,
It
you've
won't
padded
hurt
your-
you.
you've padded your salary.
Dennis, Fake News Welch. Try to tell the truth. Just try to tell the truth.
Dennis Welch, 3TV.